In this video, we're going to complete the square and then use that to solve a quadratic equation. So it says, write 2x squared minus 8x minus 5 in the form of a brackets x plus p all squared plus q. Hence, solve the equation 2x squared minus 8x minus 5 is equal to 0, giving your answers in exact form. Okay, so completing the square, so we've got 2x squared minus 8x minus 5. What we do is factorise the first two terms, because there's 2, because it's not 1x squared. So we're going to get 2 brackets x minus 4x minus 5. And now what you do is you look at this number here and you take half, and half of 4 is going to be 2. So we now write 2x, not x squared, just x, the minus sign, and a 2, close the bracket and square, and we bring down the minus 5 as well. Now in doing this process, we've added something in. Now you can either expand the first part here to see what you added in. So if you expand x minus 2, you're going to get x squared minus 4x plus 4. And then multiplied by 2, you get 2x squared minus 8x, and realise that we've actually added in 4 times 2, which is 8. Or maybe a bit easier is just to work out 2 times minus 2 squared. So 2 times minus 2, so 2 times minus 2 squared. Minus 2 squared is 4, so it's 2 times 4, which is 8. So either way, we have added 8 when we did this process. So here we must do the opposite thing and subtract 8, otherwise we would change the meaning of the expression. So this now becomes 2 brackets x minus 2 all squared, minus 5 minus 8 is minus 13. That's now in the correct format, ax plus p squared plus q. If you were asked to state the values of a, p and q, a would be equal to 2, p would be equal to minus 2, and q would be equal to minus 13. Now, geometrically, this also has a meaning when you're sketching a quadratic, but we can look at that in a later video. Right, so the answer to the first part is 2 brackets x minus 2 all squared minus 13. We now solve the equation equal to 0. So we put this equal to 0, which means we can now put this equal to 0. So we had to solve 2x squared minus 8x minus 5 is equal to 0. We have to now use our answer to the first part. 2 brackets x minus 2 squared minus 13 is equal to 0. Right, we're trying to make x on its own, so the opposite of subtracting 13 is to add 13 to both sides. So the left-hand side will become 2 brackets x minus 2 all squared is equal to 13. Now we need to divide by 2. Is what 2 times, so we're going to have x minus 2 all squared is equal to 13 over 2. Right, what is the opposite of squaring? Is to take the square root. So take the square root of both sides. So taking the square root of this side, we're going to have x minus 2, and then we need to take plus or minus the square root of this side. So it's going to be plus or minus the square root of 13 over 2. The final step will be to add 2 to both sides, the opposite of subtracting 2. And we get x is equal to 2 plus or minus square root of 13 over 2. So the exact solutions are going to be x minus square root of 13 over 2, or x is equal to 2 plus 13 over 2. Now, you can work these out using your calculator and get the decimal equivalents. Normally you give the answer here if it's decimal equivalents to 1 decimal place. Okay, so there's been a video to show you how to write an expression in completing the square form and then using that to solve the resulting quadratic. I hope you've understood, and I thank you very much for watching.